Welcome in Coach Scott Bitner, new head coach of Stockton University. Good morning, Coach.
Good morning, Sully. How are you?
Pretty good, man. Like I said last night, we're kid-friendly, so if we hear some kids in the background, no big deal. I know you got some youngsters you're taking care of this morning.
I do. I actually have my in-laws over.
Okay.
So my father-in-law can lose his attention, so I may have to bail him out at some point. But right now I'm good.
So the 1-year-old's got some breakfast and we're all set?
He's hanging from the lights.
Good stuff, man. Season opener today, man. You guys ready?
I think we are. It's funny, this time of the year, I don't ever think you feel good about yourself because we've had 25 days of practice where it's just been, us playing against ourselves. So you're playing against, like, the second unit. Second unit knows all your plays, so nothing comes out looking good. And, you're just tired of each other. So you're ready to move on and face somebody else.
What's going through your mind right now, Coach? Obviously, a longtime assistant there at Stockton under Coach Jerry Matthews. And now you're in a driver's seat, so a little bit different for you?
It's a little different. I was so lucky the last 5 or 6 years where Jerry let me manage the games for the most part. And I think for a lot of guys that get their first head coaching job, that is the hardest part, is just managing the games. And, like I said, I was lucky I've been able to do that probably at least 5 seasons, I think 6. So when it comes to substitutions and calling all the sets and just, making decisions, in the heat of the game, I've been doing that. I've been telling everybody the hardest part is just the administrative stuff. It takes your focus away from the actual basketball. So when I was an assistant, I was just thinking about basketball. And Jerry did all the grunt work, he did all the paperwork and all that. So that's been the biggest thing for me, is just managing my time better.
Get yourself a student assistant to take care of all that stuff.
Wouldn't that be nice? The managers. But, that's the life of a Division III coach.
Yeah, no doubt.
It's kind of like any business. You start, you have to do everything. You have to be able to do everything. And then, it prepares you for the whole job more.
Now, we're going to have Mike McGarry here at the top of the hour. He kind of shortchanged you a little bit in his story yesterday. Just kind of briefly mentioned that you played at Wheeling Jesuit University back in the early 90s. You're a Division II All-American.
I was.
I'm going to have to give McGarry a hard time about that. Like, yo, man, give this guy his props.
Well, yeah, but, when you as you get older, you look back and you say, man, I wasn't that good. And I think when you're younger, you think you're better than you were. And then it's just so long ago, I don't even think about it. I can't even, I look at kids play and I'm worried about tearing an Achilles now.
Right.
But, I was telling Mike that it's, if you look at a lot of the coaches in basketball, a lot of them were former point guards. And, I think that makes the adjustment a little bit easier because you're always, I've always been kind of trying to coach as I'm playing. And it's just funny how that works out in basketball, that point guards do seem to get into coaching.
Now, are you going to take any sideline tips from Gene Allen of Atlantic City, and you gonna get some of that fire going? Maybe toss the jacket, that kind of stuff.
We've been very good at our own right of having those sideline antics and getting kids to play really, really hard. Gene does it as well as anybody. I might have to keep it a little cleaner than Gene does sometimes.
Now there's a protocol when you're sideline. Your team gets down by 5 in the first quarter. Okay, you loosen the tie. Second quarter, maybe you shred the jacket. Third quarter, you're tossing a clipboard. You got to be a little bit of a showman there on the sideline.
No, I hope I prefer the Brad Stevens technique, where you can somehow motivate and fire up your team, and while looking like you're going to a business meeting. But it's why I was at a game last night, and I guess I drove up to see Rowan play, and there's things that happened with the Zebras during the game, and you say to yourself, man, did they make it hard to stay calm all the time. So, that's the hardest part, just managing your emotions. And, one of the big adjustments for me was, like, all the decisions I made, they were easy because it wasn't on my record, So I'm like, let's do this. Like, I was willing to roll the dice all the time because it wasn't on me. So now that it's on me, I have to remind myself that to coach as loose as I did before.
Yeah,
I think that'll be the biggest adjustment for me.
If it goes sideways on you, just tell the media, hey, go talk to Jerry.
Right. That was Jerry's idea. So that like even in the two scrimmages, I have to catch myself and remind myself not to coach more uptight than I did before.
Do you think you'll coach any differently now that your name is comes after head coach?
No, I hope not. Because what we've done has worked. I do have to. We're not going to win the league every year. We've won the last 3, so I think you got to coach not even thinking about that. The only thing we'll do different basketball-wise is we'll play a little faster at times, and try to get up and down the floor and speed the tempo a bit. But other than that, I think the meat and potatoes will be the same. We'll pride ourselves on defending and rebounding and just being really, really tough.
We're talking with Scott Bitner, new head coach at Stockton University. Longtime assistant, takes over for Jerry Matthews, who recently retired. Coach, talk about this team a little bit. You guys went 21-7 last year, got a lot of guys returning, and a lot of names that Cape Atlantic League fans will recognize. Darius Jerkins was a star at Mainland. You got a real nice incoming freshman, Steve Ferebee from Absegami, Tom Catanoso from Middle Township, a couple guys down there from Middle Township, and another big guy returning, Marcus Harmon. You got some nice pieces to work with there. We
do. We were 21-7 last year, and actually we kind of thought it was our most talented group. So we were disappointed we lost the 7 games. Now, going into this year, we're expecting big things. Now, Marcus has been out a bit. He had a surgery at the end of August, and so he wasn't able to do anything until the first week of practice, and now he's been having a lingering ankle problem. So he's going to be a work in progress. We're going to have to put him on, like, the Joel Embiid minutes restrictions, and but we're excited. I think we could be as good as we've been. But the league will be better than it's been, probably since I've been in it, which is going to make it fun.
Coach, how has the transition gone for a guy like Jerkins? Here's a kid who it almost seemed at times when he was in high school that high school basketball was a little bit too easy for him, and then he gets up into college and a whole different ball game. Now you're going up against every night guys that are the same size as you, and he's always had some real good low post moves. How much has he developed in the last couple of years?
Well, he's really developed this year. Last year, he would have glimpses where he looked like he could be the best forward on the floor, and then he'd have weeks where he didn't play like the best forward on the floor. And I think with him, it's just consistent effort and just being a consistent killer. One of the things with him is he just passes so well. I think he was like in the top 3% in offensive efficiency passing out of the post in the country last season. So he's very good at that. The problem is he overdoes it.
Yeah.
And if he has his feet in the paint, I want him to be a scorer, and because I don't think there's many people at this level that can stop him.
And another guy we mentioned, incoming freshman, Steve Ferebee. I was thinking last winter when I was covering this guy in high school, whatever college gets this guy, it's going to be a nice get for them. He's a little bit underrated, but, man, he could do a lot of things on a basketball court.
Right, and he can do a lot more things than people know, because in high school you have to put him in a position to help you win. And Steve is so well-rounded that he's actually, I think he'll morph into a 3 for us, which is 6'6", and as athletic as he is, playing 3 is great. Steve, I'm very excited about him. I think he has a chance to be the best player we've had.
He can almost be a 2 at times, right? He's that good with the ball.
He's shooting the ball really, really well. He's got to work on his handle a bit because in college, there always seems to be somebody in your chest. So he's got to work on that and just being more confident with it. But, he's a better kid than he is anything. He's an amazing kid. And he's a sponge. He works. He's very attentive when it comes to everything, schoolwork. And we're very lucky to have him for the next 4 years.
Good stuff, Coach. I could talk basketball all morning, but we got to let you go. We're up against the break, and we got to get some soccer talk going. So appreciate you taking a few minutes. We'll check in with you throughout the year, and good luck tonight in the season opener.
Great. Thanks so much for having me on, Sully.
No problem. Have a good weekend, buddy.
You too, buddy. See you.
That was Scott Bitner, new head coach at Stockton University. Always great talking some college basketball, so we'll check in with him throughout the winter.